Okay, I'm at my desk today, and today we are going to talk about the Explorations Project, the next big thing, the last big thing that you will be doing at the end of your junior year. So without further ado, this is Explorations, in which we explore, learn, create, and teach. So a little bit of history, a little bit of background on what the Exploration Project is and what it once was and how it came to be. It began as a senior project. When I first came into freestyle, the Explorations was a project that was done at the end of senior year. It was, in my opinion, an excuse to be lazy. I was not a big fan of how it was kind of presented at the end. It was just kind of a lazy project. We quickly shuffled things around. When we added the Senior Zenith project, things needed to change. And the Explorations project got moved, and we decided it would be a really good way to have juniors explore things at the end of their junior year. It fit nicely with the Senior Zenith project and what they were doing, and in a way it's kind of a little mini project, a little mini Zenith project that juniors get to work on. Before, when seniors were doing the Explorations project, juniors were actually doing the experimental project. So the old experimental project was actually one that juniors finished at the end of their junior year. We decided it was much better to have it start the junior year because new students at Freestyle would have an opportunity to stretch their thinking, to try something new, to think outside their comfort zone. And experimental films are just so weird and bizarre and strange that it kind of made sense to begin junior year when you don't have any skills, really. It kind of made sense to start with that project where, you know, if things came out horrible, you just, oh, it's experimental, everyone. It's experimental. Juniors began with a self-portrait film, which was a way for juniors to start freestyle and explain kind of who they are. Well, we quickly realized that juniors have no idea who they are. And the self-portrait film was a real challenge for them. So we moved that to the senior year, and then that eventually got replaced, and we put it in with what we have at the beginning of senior year, which is a sort of a video essay reflections unit. So things really got shuffled around, and now we really like the way that this has all fallen into place. It's really made Explorations fit in a way where juniors have an opportunity to explore something. And that's really cool. We really like how we've shuffled things around, how we've moved the different projects to different places at different times of the year. And we really think we have it dialed in now to a point where it really makes sense, where you begin here and then you move forward and progress and grow and stretch your talents and finish over here. So, Explorations. The idea of Explorations is to learn new skills. We want you to research that skill, and then we want you to show mastery of the thing that you have learned by creating something with the skill that you have mastered, and then you will present to the school and teach us all that skill to really show complete mastery. So you're going to learn a new skill, you're going to research that skill, you're going to practice and show mastery of that skill by creating something using what you have learned, and then you are going to teach us all about the thing that you have learned and about your process so that others might be inspired by you and so that they might also learn a little bit along the way. This is kind of like how in class when you have a question and I look around the room and I point to someone and I say, you know who's an expert at that? I find that we often learn best when we have to teach it to someone else. And so Explorations is kind of a whole project with that idea in mind. You're going to learn something and get so good at it that you're going to be able to teach it to the rest of us. And I think that's a really good way to learn. I think that's a really good way to cement that knowledge and the learning of that skill. All right, so you have all of the class time, all of the production time to work on this particular project until the end of the year, which is 4 weeks. You got about 4 weeks, give or take, for you to really learn and grow and practice whatever it is that you want to learn and what you want to develop. And you really devote that much time to it, which is really, really cool. In a way, it's like a mini Senior Zenith project. You don't have several months, you've got 4 weeks, but it's a good way for you to kind of start looking into things that maybe you're interested in doing. And this might be a good trial run for your Zenith project to give you an idea of the kind of things that you want to do for that big project at the end of your senior year. You're going to make a presentation to all the juniors on that new skill, as we mentioned. And all of the juniors are going to watch it. All of the juniors in Freestyle. Not just the film students in your class, not just the film students, but all of the animation students and design students as well. And you're going to have an opportunity to see their work and see what skills they have learned about and what skills they have developed. So for film, what does this mean for film? What is required? You need to have a written pitch. So I want you to write a proposal, 1 page, nice and simple, just explaining what your idea is, what your proposal is, what you plan to research, what skill you plan to develop. So you need to have that turned into me. It must be connected to film, okay? This is a film class. I'm giving you a film grade. You enrolled in film, okay? You cannot, for example, do an explorations project on pottery making, okay? That doesn't work, okay? This is a film class. So whatever you decide to pursue, it must be connected to film in some way, shape, or form. Now, the film is a broad industry. There's a lot of different things going on in the film world, okay? A lot of different ways that you can do a lot of different things that are related to film. So you can think outside the box here, but it must be connected to film in some way. It needs to be something new. We want it to be something new for you. We don't want you to do, for example, another chase scene. You've done a chase scene. We don't want you to do, I'm going to study Griffith's pattern. Well, you've done that already. Okay? We want you to explore something that you have not mastered, a skill that you have not yet mastered, so that you can practice it and get really good at it and master that skill and then teach it to someone else. So there's a lot of different things that you can do that I haven't taught you yet, opportunities for you to research and learn about different film topics. But we want you to really practice a skill that you're not good at, because that's what the point of this project is, to find something that you're interested in, but that you don't know how to do, and then learn about it and then get good at it. So you have an opportunity to develop a new skill, a new tool in your tool belt. It needs to be an appropriate workload for the next 4 weeks. Okay, we got 4 weeks, give or take, left of school, and we want you to have the appropriate amount of work to fill that 4-week span of time. So you need to pick something that you're excited about, that you want to work on for 4 weeks, but also something that's going to give you enough work to keep you busy for 4 weeks. Otherwise, this time is kind of wasted. I'm not saying fill it with busy work, but I am saying take on the appropriate sized project so that you really have an opportunity to really master the skill that you want to pursue. Okay? You need to have a completed project. Okay? You actually need to create something with the skill that you're researching. You can't just research a topic and then teach us about that topic. In order to show mastery, you need to create something using the research that you have done. So you actually need to have a finished, created, product that you're going to do. Now, this doesn't mean a huge, giant film. You only have 4 weeks here. I'm not asking you to make a narrative film. I'm not asking you to make another documentary. I'm not asking you to make a huge, polished, completed film. But you might have a small scene that could have taken place in a larger film that's, showcasing a particular skill that you're trying to pursue. You need to create something that shows mastery of the skill that exists in a product that we can showcase. You need to have your presentation, obviously. This is required. Every student in Freestyle, every junior is going to do a presentation on their exploration project. So the question that I pose to you is, what do you want to do with your last 4 weeks of your junior year at Freestyle? This is it. We've only got 4 weeks left. Okay? You have an opportunity to do something pretty cool. What are you going to do? Take advantage of those 4 weeks. What are you going to do? So here's some ideas that have been done in the past, some ideas that haven't been done in the past, some suggestions. There's a lot of possibilities here for your explorations project. These are just some of the ideas that maybe will spark an idea for maybe what you want to do for your explorations project. You can do something on screenwriting. I haven't taught you a lot about screenwriting yet. We have a whole unit on screenwriting next year when you're seniors. But if you want to get into that a little bit early, you can spend the next 4 weeks doing something along the lines of screenwriting. You can do something with a collection of shorts. I've seen students do little mini shorts where they studied comedy, where they studied a certain type of genre. You can do a small collection of shorts that showcases a particular style or a particular mood or tone or something that you're researching and showing how to develop that skill. You could do a documentary, but you could do a documentary in a different mode than maybe what you've done in the past. Maybe you want to do an observational documentary, or maybe you want to do a poetic documentary or a performance documentary. One of the other types that you haven't done. That's definitely an option. And given this particular year in 2020, when the documentary unit was somewhat cut short and kind of hindered by the things that are going on in the world right now, a documentary could be something that you could do if you wanted to do another documentary or one in a different kind of style. You want to go back to experimental film. Maybe you know, you've grown a lot since the beginning of the year, and maybe you want to try your hand at doing a real experimental film. You know, your first experimental film was, you know, kind of just really an opportunity for you to learn how to use the camera and turn it on and hit record. You've grown a lot since then. You developed a lot of skills since then. Maybe you want to pursue a real, more polished experimental film, and 4 weeks might be the appropriate amount of time to put that together. Maybe you want to do a music video. What is a music video? How is a music video done? There are actually different styles of music videos and different ways to shoot music videos. And shooting a music video is a little bit different than shooting a narrative film or a documentary or an experimental film. So what research could you do there? You want to focus on a dialogue scene. You know, we haven't done any dialogue for any of the projects that you've done so far. The only talking that we've done is in the talking head interviews of your documentaries. So if you want to focus on dialogue, how to write a dialogue scene, how to write compelling or interesting or believable dialogue, this is something we're going to talk about next year when you're seniors, but this is something that you can certainly pursue and research in the next 4 weeks and then create something to show what you've learned. You could do a television series pitch. There's a whole pitch package for how you put together a pitch idea for a whole television series, or maybe you want to do a web series or a pilot for a web series. You know, what does that mean? How does one get a web series underway? How does one put that together? What does that look like? That would be research that you would have to do. Maybe you want to focus on special effects. We haven't really done any special effects yet as students at Freestyle. We'll get to that next year when you're seniors, but maybe you want to learn more about After Effects. Maybe you want to learn about special effects. Maybe you want to learn how to do practical effects. There's a big variety of different ways that you can make different effects in your films, and maybe this is something that you're interested in that you want to pursue. Maybe you want to do a noir film. I've had a few students give this one a try, and no one has really done it right yet. So maybe if you want to focus on noir film, which is a genre of film, a certain style of film, if you want to learn about that, research that, and create something that looks like that style, a real true noir film, I'd love it. I'd love for it to happen. I've been waiting for it. I've had 3 student attempts so far, and not one of them has really done it right. One of them came close, but still hasn't done it right. So if any of you are interested in doing a noir film and really doing that and doing that right, that could be something really cool that you could come up with. Maybe you want to do some film tutorial videos. Maybe you want to do a film freestyle lesson. If they're good, we can use them. We could always use more. The technology changes, the steps change all the time. So maybe you want to do a collection of tutorial videos on a particular subject, how to use a certain kind of software, how to do this, how to do that. That's certainly something that you could research about and put something together on. Maybe you want to focus on film analysis. You want to really get into the nitty-gritty of film. You want to analyze film at a deeper level. You know, we've done that a little bit when we critique films, if we talk about how many stars should we give it and what did you like and what did you not like. But maybe you really want to get deeper. Maybe you want to get into the analysis of the film and what's going on underneath and really compare and contrast some different films or characters or styles of directors. That's certainly something that you could do. You could do the same kind of thing with film history. If you're interested in film history, I wish we had more time in film class to cover film history. There's so many cool things that I really like to show you. There's a lot of really interesting parts of film history, and I think it's important to understand the history of film and how one film derived and was inspired by another and was inspired and derived from another, and so on and so forth, so you can learn how film has progressed and developed over time. That's certainly something that you could explore throughout this particular project. Maybe there's a specific job in the industry that you're interested in. You know, we did this early in the year where we pulled out little slips of paper, different film jobs, and learned about the different jobs in the industry. There are so many more jobs that we didn't talk about on that particular day in that particular lesson. Maybe there's a specific job now that you've done a year of freestyle. Maybe there's a particular job that you're interested in or that you're interested in learning more about, that you're curious about. Maybe it's something that you want to do as a career. This could be a really good opportunity for you to really research, delve into that, and learn more about that particular job, do something and create something as if you were doing that job, and then teach us what you've learned, and then maybe you'll have a better idea if that's something that you want to pursue in the future. If you want to learn something about animation, you want to focus on animation, that's certainly something you could do in film class. You're not animation students, you are film students, but animation is a type of film. Animated films are still films, and if that's something that you're interested in, that you want to learn a little bit about how to do, animation's totally on the table. That's certainly something that you can do. I love animation. I have some background in animation. That's something I can help you with. If you want to learn about animation and research animation and create something animated, that's awesome, and if it's something that interests you, I encourage you to give that a try. So the list goes on and on and on. There's really a lot of options. These are just some suggestions that I put together. If any of these interest you, by all means, you can pursue these, but you can pursue something that's totally different, as long as it's within the film industry in some way, shape, or form. We've had students do different things with costume or makeup or practical effects, or studying particular styles of directors or films or genres, different kinds of writing or lighting. The list goes on and on and on and on. So think about something that interests you, something that you're curious about, that you're not super familiar with. This is an opportunity for you to find something that you're less familiar with, to learn more about it, and to see if it's something that you're excited about, to see if it's a passion of yours, to see if it's something that you want to learn more about and pursue in the future, whether as a freestyle student when you're a senior, or maybe beyond in college or as a career. Okay, so this is due. When is it due? This is due at the end of the year. This is your final big project. It is due at the end of the semester. Your presentations will be due in that first week of June. Look on the calendar for the specific date, but they will be due in that finals week, basically, of June. This is the last big freestyle project that you need to do. Make sure you check out the calendar. Make sure that you are familiar with the different requirements for each class. I've told you the film requirements, what you need to do specifically for film, but there might be some other requirements that you might need to get in there for English, for example, or for your digital media class. So be sure to look through the documents. I'll be sending those out in an email, and make sure that you look at the different calendar dates so that you know what's required for each of the different classes. This is a really fun project. This is a really cool project for you to pursue something new and exciting, and something that you've always wanted to try but you didn't know how to do. It's an opportunity for you to teach yourself and to learn how to teach yourself and get really good at that, so that you can teach yourself anything. So you can get better and better and better about researching different topics and developing new skills on your own, which I believe, as you know, is very important, to learn how to learn how to teach yourself. Because guys, the technology changes all the time. The computers change, the cameras change, the techniques change, the software changes, everything changes. Everything that I've taught you over the course of this year is going to be totally different in 5 years. But if you learn how to learn, if you learn how to teach yourself, if you learn how to research yourself and how to find answers to questions yourself, that's a skill that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And this project is all about that. Learning how to learn, learning how to teach yourself, learning how to develop a new skill on your own and get so good at it that you become a master at it, and then you can then teach it to others. It's a cool project. It's a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to hear and to see what you guys come up with. So the next thing that you need to turn in for my class is the written proposal. Please share with me a written proposal. Turn it in, put it in my Dropbox, share it with me. A written proposal, just a short little one-pager telling me what your plan is, what it is that you want to do, what skill do you want to learn, do you want to master, and do you ultimately want to teach the rest of freestyle. That's it. Go forth and conquer and explore!